Hello, fellow travelers! Welcome to the most magical floating city on Earth, Venice, Italy. I'm about to guide you through an unforgettable day in this extraordinary place, with insider tips you won't find in typical guidebooks. But before we dive in, if you want to explore cities the smart and easy way, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and start your journey with us. I create weekly guides to the world's most incredible destinations, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Plus, subscribers get early access to my city cheat sheets that make planning a breeze. Now, let's talk Venice. La Serenissima, the floating city. Is one day enough? Honestly, no, but I'll show you how to make every minute count. The golden rule for experiencing Venice properly: wake up early. Be out by 6:30 a.m. to see a completely different city. Start at Piazza San Marco before the crowds arrive. This iconic square becomes packed by mid-morning, but at dawn, you might have it almost to yourself. Take in the Byzantine splendor of St. Mark's Basilica, the elegant arcades, and the towering Campanile bell tower in perfect morning light. Pro tip: check the queue forming at St. Mark's Basilica. If it's short, consider joining it right away, otherwise we'll return later with a reservation trick. Head to Riva degli Schiavoni, the waterfront promenade extending east from St. Mark's. The morning light on the lagoon creates perfect photo opportunities with the island of San Giorgio Maggiore in the distance. For breakfast, skip the overpriced cafes in St. Mark's Square. Instead, go to Pasticceria Tonolo, near the Accademia Bridge, where locals start their day with espresso and fresh pastries. Try their cornetto filled with crema or seasonal specialties. Your taste buds will thank you. Now for Venice's iconic attractions done efficiently. First, St. Mark's Basilica. Here's that reservation trick I promised. Book a timed entry online for just €3 to skip the sometimes hours-long queue. Inside, you'll be mesmerized by the 85,000 square feet of golden mosaics that have earned it the nickname Church of Gold. Look up at the domes and prepare to be awestruck. Next door is the Doge's Palace, Palazzo Ducale, the seat of Venetian power for centuries. Take the secret itineraries tour to access normally restricted areas, including the prison cells where Casanova was held before his famous escape. From here you'll cross the iconic Bridge of Sighs, named because prisoners supposedly sighed as they glimpsed their last view of beautiful Venice before imprisonment. By now, it's around 10:30 a.m. and the crowds are intensifying. This is the perfect time to escape the San Marco area and discover the authentic Venice. Head east into the Castello district, one of Venice's most authentic neighborhoods. Here you'll glimpse everyday Venetian life away from the tourist centers. Walk along Via Garibaldi, a rare wide street created by filling in a canal during Napoleon's occupation. You'll find local grocers, neighborhood bars, called Baccari, and actual Venetians going about their daily business. Visit the Arsenale, the massive shipyard that powered Venice's naval dominance. While you can't enter most of it, the monumental entrance with its lion statues tells the story of Venetian maritime power. One hidden gem in this area is the Giardini della Biennale, peaceful public gardens that offer a green respite in this stone and water city. For a quick bite, stop at a local baccaro like El Raffolo for Cicchetti Venice's version of tapas. Try baccalà mantecato, creamed salt cod, on polenta paired with a small glass of local wine. This is how Venetians have eaten for centuries. Speaking of authentic experiences, if you've been enjoying these insider tips about discovering the real Venice, I promise more secrets are coming, so don't forget to subscribe. Now it's time to experience Venice's main street, the Grand Canal. Instead of an expensive private boat, hop on Vaporetto Line 1. This public water bus offers one of the best sightseeing values in Venice for just a few euros. Board at Giardini and ride to the Rialto Market. This journey takes you past palazzos spanning 700 years of Venetian architecture, from Byzantine to Gothic to Renaissance to Baroque. Notice landmarks like Ca' d'Oro with its intricate facade, the imposing Palazzo Grimani, and the famous bend in the canal by Ca' Foscari University. Disembark at Rialto and explore the historic market area. While the fish market, or pescaria, is busiest in the mornings, the fruit and vegetable stands create a colorful display throughout the day. This is where Venetians have shopped for over 700 years. The Rialto Bridge itself is an engineering marvel from the 16th century. Climb to the top for spectacular views along the Grand Canal, and browse the shops that have lined it for centuries. For lunch, avoid tourist traps directly around the bridge. Instead, walk 5 minutes to Al Arco, a tiny baccaro, where locals stand at the counter enjoying fresh cicchetti made from whatever looked best at the morning's market. After lunch, cross the Accademia Bridge into the Dorsoduro district, Venice's artistic heart. This less crowded area houses some of the city's finest museums. If you love classical art, visit Gallery dell'Accademia with Venice's greatest collection of pre-19th century masterpieces, including works by Titian, Tintoretto, and Veronese. Don't miss Tintoretto's dramatic Miracle of the Slave. For modern art enthusiasts, the Peggy Guggenheim collection showcases masterpieces by Picasso, Pollock, and Dali in the American heiress's former home on the Grand Canal. For something truly special, find the Scuola Grande di San Rocco, where more than 60 paintings by Tintoretto cover the walls and ceilings in a breathtaking display of Venetian artistic prowess. Take time to experience Campo Santa Margherita, one of the liveliest squares in the city. Here, university students mingle with locals, children play freely, and the atmosphere feels genuinely Venetian rather than curated for tourists. Now for what might be the most important part of your Venice experience, getting deliberately lost. Venice is a maze of narrow calli, or streets, tiny campi, or squares, and picturesque bridges spanning countless small canals. Put away your map and Google Maps for an hour. Choose the narrowest alleyways. Turn randomly at intersections. What appears to be a dead end might open into a charming hidden courtyard or reveal a canal-side workshop where artisans practice traditional crafts. Don't worry about getting truly lost. Venice is a small island, and you'll eventually hit either the Grand Canal, the lagoon edge, or a major landmark. Look for sottoporteghi, or passageways tunneling through buildings, shrines built into walls, centuries-old wellheads in tiny squares, and clothing hanging to dry above narrow canals. These everyday details create the Venice that residents cherish. During your wandering, peek into workshops of traditional artisans creating handmade paper, elaborate carnival masks, and fine leather goods. These small workshops offer authentic souvenirs with true Venetian craftsmanship. As the afternoon progresses, it's time for that quintessential Venice experience, a gondola ride. Yes, it's expensive, about €80 for 30 minutes. Yes, it's touristy. But there's simply no better way to experience Venice's unique perspective than from water level in these beautiful handcrafted boats. Pro tip: skip the gondola stands near major attractions where you'll pay premium prices for crowded routes. Instead, find a gondolier in a quieter area who'll take you through the small secondary canals where larger boats can't go. Ask your gondolier to explore the network of smaller canals in districts like Cannaregio or Dorsoduro. You'll glide under tiny bridges where you have to duck your head, past water-level doorways, and alongside foundations that have been slowly sinking for centuries. Good gondoliers are also storytellers. They know the history of the buildings you're passing and can point out details you'd never notice from street level. Ask questions and engage with them for the full experience. If a private gondola exceeds your budget, consider a traghetto, a larger gondola that serves as a canal crossing ferry for locals at just a couple of euros. The ride lasts only minutes, but you'll get a taste of the experience. As day transitions to evening, gain perspective by getting above this horizontal city. While many visitors head to the Campanile in St. Mark's Square, I recommend the bell tower of San Giorgio Maggiore instead. Take Vaporetto Line 2 from San Marco to this island just across the basin. The church here, designed by the renowned architect Palladio, is beautiful in its own right. But the bell tower offers what may be the best panoramic view in Venice, with far fewer crowds. From this vantage point, you'll see the entire sweep of Venice St. Mark's Square, the Grand Canal's entrance, the Doge's Palace, and the city against the backdrop of the distant Alps on clear days. Time your visit for golden hour when the fading light transforms the ancient city and gilds the lagoon. This is the Venice that has inspired poets and painters for centuries, a city of light, water, and impossible beauty. As the sun sets, watch the city lights begin to twinkle on, creating a magical transition from day to night. As evening falls, experience Venice's distinctive culinary traditions. Venetian cuisine is unlike generic Italian food, with seafood playing a starring role and unique dishes you won't find elsewhere. For an authentic experience, head to a trattoria in a residential area like Cannaregio. Alle Testiere, Antiche Carampane, or Trattoria alla Madonna serve traditional Venetian cuisine without tourist markups. Make reservations in advance. Good restaurants fill quickly. Start with antipasti of seafood from the Lagoon Malesh, tiny soft-shell crabs when in season, sardines prepared in sour with onions and raisins, or raw sea bass carpaccio simply dressed with olive oil and lemon. For your first course, try bigoli and salsa thick whole wheat spaghetti with an anchovy and onion sauce that embodies Venice's maritime heritage. For the main course, sample fegato alla veneziana, calf's liver with onions, a dish dating back to ancient Roman times. Polenta often accompanies main dishes here instead of pasta, reflecting the region's historical reliance on corn. Pair your meal with wines from the Veneto region, perhaps a crisp Soave with seafood or a rich Amarone with meatier dishes. End with traditional Venetian sweets like bussolai, butter cookies, or frittole during carnival season. Venice transforms after dark. The day trippers have departed, leaving the city to overnight visitors and locals. This is when Venice's mysterious romantic character fully emerges. Return to St. Mark's Square, which takes on a magical quality at night. The Basilica is illuminated, the competing orchestras play at the cafes, and couples dance under the stars. Yes, having a drink at Café Florian is expensive, but the experience of sitting in this historic setting as people have done for centuries might be worth it. For a different evening experience, check the schedule at Teatro La Fenice, one of the world's most beautiful opera houses. Even if you're not an opera fan, a performance in this historic venue is unforgettable. Alternatively, seek out venues like Paradiso Perduto in Cannaregio that offer live music ranging from jazz to traditional Venetian songs, showing a side of Venice's nightlife that most tourists never experience. End your evening with a nighttime vaporetto ride along the Grand Canal. The palaces are lit from within, their reflections shimmering on the dark water, creating a dreamlike atmosphere that feels suspended in time. As our day in Venice concludes, take a moment to reflect on this improbable city. Built on millions of wooden pilings driven into a lagoon, it has survived for over 1,200 years through conquest, plague, the collapse of its maritime empire, and modern challenges of tourism and rising sea levels. In one day, we've barely scratched the surface. We haven't explored the colorful island of Burano with its lace-making tradition, Murano with its master glassblowers, the historic Jewish ghetto, or the beaches of the Lido. If you found this video helpful, you'll love what's coming next. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. I'll be sharing exclusive content about different cities. Venice rewards return visits, each revealing new layers of its rich history and culture. But even with just one day, you've experienced the essence of La Serenissima, a city unlike any other in the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the world's most extraordinary places. Until next time, arrivederci from Venice.